Hey everybody, we are actually back. We haven't had a lot of content for the past few weeks. Schedules getting crazy. Gundark's been captured within the spice mines again, and I was actually traveling for a couple of weeks, but I'm back, and we're going to try and jump back into a few topics that happened pretty much while I was away. One of them being Star Wars Outlaws, the new video game that has now been released. We're going to take a look at the trailer first of all, and then we're going to just talk about our thoughts on it and kind of what it looks like. And we also put up a poll question last week, and we'll talk about the results on that. So, all right, Greedo, are you ready to check out the
Sure.
trailer?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I got it queued up.
And this may contain inappropriate for children content.
Right.
Inappropriate for children.
All right, ready on 3, 2, 1, play.
These are dangerous times.
Xbox sound.
Xbox massive.
The Empire?
Ooh, TIE fighters.
They're everywhere.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Belongs to the Syndicate.
That was the Spice Miners, right?
Mm-hmm. The Pike Syndicate. Yeah.
If I want to survive, I have to play their game. Looks like I'm all in.
She's in here somewhere.
On second thought, I'm out.
There she is.
Wow.
I think that Rodian might have had a bad idea going
Yeah.
toe to toe with a Gamorrean guard.
Exactly.
I've been held back my whole life. And now, I just need a chance to finally be free.
Starring Jyn Erso.
Right.
I'm here to offer you a way out, okay?
Get off my ship, Jalen.
Give me a chance. You're gonna have to trust me. It'll be dangerous, risky. But if you pull this off, you'll never look over your shoulder again.
Oh wow, that was badass.
The underworld shows no mercy.
Solo.
But it's a big galaxy out there, and I'm gonna risk it all.
Star Wars Outlaws, coming 2024.
2024, yeah. All right. Okay, so yeah, definitely I misspoke there. Before the trailer, I did say the game was out. It is not out, and I knew that, but I think I was distracted with the fact there's so many gameplay walkthrough videos out there, which I'm not sure how those exist, other than maybe there's some beta versions out there.
Oh,
But,
there's walkthrough videos already?
That's what
That's
because
weird.
when I was actually searching for the trailer video, it kept giving me walkthrough gameplay videos. I was like, wait, what? That's what threw me. That's why I even said that.
Yeah, that is odd.
So what do we know about this game so far? What I've heard, of course, and you can kind of figure it out from the trailer, that it takes place between Empire and Return of the Jedi, because we still have Han frozen in carbonite in the cutscenes, things like that. But beyond that, I really don't know that much. Other than supposedly this is an open world game.
That's what I was gonna say.
yeah.
That's what everybody's excited about.
Right.
Depends on what open world game really means.
Mhm.
And Star Wars, they've tried this kind of thing before with the multiplayer universe game. What was it
Right,
called? Star Wars Galaxies, which I played for a while.
Yeah, I never did get into that.
I played long enough to buy a hut on Tatooine.
Oh, okay.
My character had a hut on Tatooine,
Uh,
and I had stormtrooper armor that I kept to the chest, and I could dress up like a stormtrooper and go out,
Nice.
mess with things. That was like my goal, was to do all the stormtrooper armor quests. But
Awesome.
and that function with like you had to go to the starport, pick your destination, wait, and then it did a load screen or whatever of you traveling, and then and Star Wars games, is it Blizzard that's doing this?
No, Ubisoft.
Ubisoft, okay.
Ubisoft, yeah.
You whatever.
Ubisoft, whatever how you pronounce it. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they just do a good job integrating that open world feel for real, where it doesn't feel like just a series of kind of set planets that you just go between, and
Right.
and they get the space travel. Space travel is like a really important part of the feel of Star Wars, and fight space battles.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of the games have had trouble when they've tried to integrate the MMO stuff, the open world stuff. And they're not saying this is an MMO though, right? This is just you may play this.
I haven't heard of this MMO. Right.
You're probably just playing this one character.
You're just playing the
and
one
going through
character. Yeah.
or maybe you might get to design
asking,
your one character or something.
That's what I heard. People are hoping that you could do, but so far I've heard that you're locked into this one particular character.
So another female front person.
Right.
So anyway,
You think they at least have a few options, but
yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to. I guess she looks female. That doesn't mean she is, but
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I hope they get the space battles, space travel part of it right, because I've always ended up liking, the planet-based stuff and the combat on most of their games.
Yeah.
But then the space stuff is always hit or miss. Like Battlefront, which I know is a completely different style of game and everything, but
sure.
They have all these space settings, and I'll play them and everything, but they're just not, to me, they're not nearly as fun or engaging as the other stuff. And over my history with the games, that's kind of been true. Although there has been a few that have done pretty well with it, but it's such two different things to develop at the same time, But any Star Wars game I'm looking forward to and eventually going to try for sure. So
yeah.
Interesting again that they put it in the original trilogy timeline.
Right. I agree.
I mean, I like that, but
we absolutely love that. But
yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it just seems like we get the sequel trilogy era forced in our throats so much these past 8 years or so that it just seems like it's kind of a breath of fresh air for me to kind of get a little bit of
people think it's stale, the original trilogy, because we had
right.
Rogue One, we have some other thing, set in that
Solo
timeline, Andor, Solo. I get it, but it's true. They have like Galaxy's Edge and all these other things have focused on the sequel timeline.
Right.
And now they're kind of just like in limbo a little bit, but they've even talked about the trying to repurpose the hotel to a different.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about future plans on that other than they're closing it in September.
They're closing it, but before they close it, they talked about changing it up to do more of a feel for different characters or whatever, for different timeline, to see if that would help it. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So anyway, interesting that they're going back to that well again, but for me, that's a sweet spot for Star Wars, because you start going further back into the Old Republic and classic, that stuff. I know a lot of people want to see that. To me, once you bring in the prequel style and everything, it really changes the look and feel of Star Wars. And if they're going for the Outlaws, to me, I'll always kind of identify that with the Cantina and Han Solo with the low slung blaster and all that. And
well, so I always consider that the Western aesthetics that have always been in Star Wars,
Plus, for there to be Outlaws and have an outlaw storyline, you need to have the Old Republic. I just don't see them as being a great enemy for an outlaw. You know what I mean? They would be against outlaws and pirates and stuff. It'd be like, I guess, classic pirates versus British Navy or something, but it would be a good, but having the Empire in there gives you guys you can shoot without feeling any remorse,
right. And the Empire is the Nazis of the Star Wars world,
Right. There's no mercy for them. So it gives you can play against both sides or whatever, but I'll be looking forward to it, and I'm sure I'll play it. Have
you heard anything about whether from what I've heard, it's specifically a third person game? but I don't know if
Oh,
we
really?
have the. I don't know if maybe they have the option, because I know some third person, I shouldn't say most, some third person games give you that option of doing it first person as well. So
I guess we'll just have to wait and see
yeah.
and what they develop and everything.
Mhm.
And but I tend to prefer third person when you're talking these type of games
I do too.
personally.
Yeah, I agree.
So but if you've got like a VR rig or something and they develop it for that kind of thing, it'd be
Then I
very,
could,
very
it
cool.
would make sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I just think it's interesting too. I don't know what your take is on this. That it seems like in this day and age that video games just take forever to produce and come out anymore.
Oh yeah.
Even though the technology has gotten it to where it's a whole lot faster to render this stuff and make it. But for some reason, the faster the technology gets, the slower it takes to actually put out product. I don't know. Didn't know what your thoughts were on that.
I'm not an expert on games in the gaming industry and all
And
that,
I'm
but
not either. This is just kind of the stuff I've heard the nerds in the know what talking about
yeah,
recently. I was kind of curious too.
yeah, they do put out these kind of feelers for games years before they're going to be ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also no guarantee. It's kind of like a Lucasfilm movie these days, no guarantee.
Right.
And
Just because it's
means it's
announced
going to
doesn't
make
mean it's
it.
ever going to happen. Yeah.
Right. But I think there's probably a shortage of workers and things like that. And it's probably gotten a lot more expensive to produce games, but I'd have to do some research on that.
Yeah,
But
I'm not really sure myself. And kind of like what you were just alluding to, the whole announce without release dates and who knows if it's going to
mhm.
happen. I think that Star Wars Eclipse is a great example of that. What was it,
Oh yeah, I
earlier
mean,
this year or the end of last year when they announced that, it had this full cinematic trailer that looked incredible, and then they're like, oh yeah, it may come out in like 2026, or like, wait,
yeah,
what? And even since then they're like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. It's like, wow.
it's like
Thanks for getting our
prepare
hopes up. Yeah.
prepare yourself for fully grown human organs and transplantation coming in 2055.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm prepared already. Okay, 2055, sure.
Got to make sure I live that long. Okay.
Approximately, we guess.
Yeah, we're
Estimate.
thinking. That's funny.
Have you ever wanted to be transported across the world in seconds and have your atoms reestablished? Well, now in 40 years you can.
Exactly. In
if you are in our
2089.
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Do
That's
they
awesome.
even do Kickstarter anymore? That might be an out-of-date reference there.
Probably. Now it's all just GoFundMe. So.
Patreon, GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Go fund
exactly.
yourself. I gotta start go fund yourself.
Yeah, go fund yourself.
.com.
So I love it.
People can just nominate different GoFundMe's for the GoFund yourself page. Like, I don't feel like this should be a GoFundMe. It should be a GoFund yourself. But yeah,
oh, that's awesome.
by the time this game comes out, I'll probably have rebuilt my computer again.
Right.
So hopefully I'll have the specs to play it.
Yeah, exactly.
Star Wars has a lot of great games, even from the Lego stuff. It's great games.
Oh yeah, the
great
Lego
fun
games are
to
a lot
play.
of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see. Hopefully, this is a sign that they're just going to do more. And if they can do it with good companies who respect the IP and develop stuff that we want to play, I still, no matter how much they improve the graphics and stuff, I always want a latest version of shooting stormtroopers. I always gonna want that. So just a shooting gallery with stormtroopers is great. So the more they can, I'm not gonna say no.
We wanted that even since the days of Berserk. So
oh yeah, we used to think Berserk was sitting on the Death Star.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
It even forecasted red stormtroopers back then.
It did. It really did.
Levels the red stormtroopers came out. But yeah, I'm always going to be down for stuff like that, and they've been in such a dead zone as far as the gaming goes for such a long time. And the Jedi Outcast or not Outcast, but the newer games that came out, Survivor, and all that. that hopefully has revitalized things. But
Well, the
hopefully
main thing is the fact that they're now extended the license to multiple companies.
that's it.
We're not
Yeah.
locked into EA or
Yeah.
whatever. It's now whoever can develop the best idea and product gets the license. So.
And that's what it's needed to be forever.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
agree.
It was such a bad decision to tie it down to one company and then just have to make do with whatever they came out with, and because Star Wars has been a cash cow for such a long time. It's like
Right.
they need to treat it with respect, like develop a level game. A level games, and you can develop all kinds. Like I said, the Lego games, the games for kids, game for serious gamers.
Right.
Gamers are all across the spectrum of low, 8-bit graphics all the way up to
Right, exactly.
latest greatest. So
let's get to our poll question real quick. I did put a more of a niche question than we normally put up this past week. This one specifically for the new game we're talking about. It says the new trailer for the new Ubisoft, however you pronounce it, video game Star Wars Outlaws has been released. What do you think? Will you play the game when it is released in 2024? Tell us why down in the comments. And in with a fairly large margin was yes, I'm very excited. The other choices were maybe it looks okay. No, it does not look interesting to me. And then finally I put pass. I'm still holding out for Star Wars Eclipse. So
well, next time you need to make the poll sexier. Like, yes, my nipples are hard.
Right. Exactly. Then we get a lot more responses.
No.
But yes, I'm very excited was 51%. Maybe it looks okay was 36%. No, it doesn't look interesting was 10%, and pass was 3%.
That just shows you there's interest in Star Wars games.
Absolutely.
If you can put out a trailer and you're not going to please everyone because it's impossible, and there's going to be all kinds of criticism, but still 86% or something are interested enough to say looks okay, or I'm really looking forward to it. It looks okay. I'll try it.
Yeah, 87% were on the positive on this. Yeah,
it just shows you. But that's the other thing from the new games, from the Cal Cestus stuff that you got to learn is just put out quality product.
Right.
That's what
I've not played
want
any of those games.
anything
Have you
else.
ever played any of those?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I have not.
Good.
So
it's really good stuff. Yeah.
I mean, just from the trailers and the content and stuff I've seen on videos of it, it does look pretty good. So
it reminds me of Knights of the Old Republic kind of thing. That was the game that I really loved the most out of all the Star Wars games, and because it was just really good, and then you could replay it, and it just had a level of complexity and coolness to it, and a lot of lore in there. It was creative, interesting, just super well done, and that's what these games are kind of like. And I hope they learn the lesson. It's just like now that you can get proper development and support for the games. Just keep giving us good stuff. Exactly. I don't know why we say it all the time. Just please give us quality
content.
Quality content is all we want as Star Wars fans, really. And you can have some stuff that's just fun and doesn't have, Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of the closest thing Marvel has to Star Wars. And you can have goofy, kind of stuff like that. I wouldn't go that far with the Marvel humor in a Star Wars setting, but you know what I'm saying? It's
flat,
like, you can have things that are just lighthearted and fun, and then you can have serious stuff like Andor, that goes way deeper than just what the plot would suggest or the setting and what we've seen in Star Wars before. There's just a lot of things they could do. Just make everything good.
Exactly.
I don't know. I've been encouraged by a lot of things like Andor, and then there's things that I just still don't know what to think about, like Obi-Wan.
I know, can't make our minds up on that. Yeah,
someday I'll go back and rewatch it, but the first watching was a little bit of a trial for me, so I haven't had the desire to go back and
I hope that one day I'm
through
able
all the
to
bad
get
stuff in it.
I hope that one day I'm able to get a copy of that 2.5 hour film that was edited down by that one guy, that professional film editor. That would make
it really good.
It was so good. It was. I really wish you could have seen that, because it was only up for like less than 24 hours, and I just happened to catch it the day it was dropped, and I went and watched it, and it was like, it blew me away. I was like, this is phenomenal.
And you know what's weird too is I bet you and I could go through and make many of the same choices that he did.
Oh, I agree.
and
Yeah,
and everyone else.
we did. Yeah,
It's
because
I
all
mean
the stuff that
the
we talked
bad
about on
stuff
our
to me
episodes. Yeah,
is
we talked about that
glaring.
stuff.
You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bad stuff is like, how did they let that in the same show
yeah.
that they're trying to do this other stuff in?
Hmm.
It was almost like it had multiple personality disorder or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
But anyway, getting
But
sidetracked.
to finish up with the poll, a couple of comments here. One from David Castles or Cassels. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. No wall running or Super Mario stuff, then it could be good. But Final Fantasy comes out this year, so I probably won't do anything else for a couple of years. So
Hey, he
David
was
is a big
honest.
Final Fantasy fan, and then we've got
Yeah.
Old Apple saying that his comment was a 2-word comment, third person, and then the puke emoji,
Uh,
and then finally Shin Shin is super hyped. So
okay.
yeah, thanks for commenting and checking it out. And I know we're definitely looking forward to checking it out. I'm not as much into the gaming on the new stuff that comes out because I just honestly I haven't updated my gaming systems in so long. I still have a PS3. That's like the last one
Mhm.
I ever had. Never had an Xbox. So I probably won't be getting around to playing this too much. But I know Greedo is a little bit more into that, and he tends to get the new stuff as it comes out. And so we'll get his expert opinion when it comes out.
I am the worst. You can tell from my ramblings about video games that I've played video games my whole life. That's about it. I'm
Yeah,
just a
same here.
consumer, but
We're
I'm
old
not.
school gamers from way
Yeah, I'm not
back.
an
Yeah.
expert, and I've gotten more and more over time. I like the ones that I can just in my spare moments turn on, jump in, and then turn on. Like
Right.
log out when I need to go do something else. And
Yeah.
those are usually first person shooters or
Yeah.
team based things and
Hmm.
team based games that you can just play when you feel like playing them.
Sure.
There's a lot of time investment that goes into these games to beat them, the ones with a story and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I said, there's also that computer anxiety. Like, is my system good enough to handle this?
Handle this exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
It
which
just seems like it's
again,
so complicated these days too, like the way the systems are designed with the downloading aspect and the storage capacity. It's like, I just hear other gamers complaining about, well, you
yeah.
buy the game. It used to be so simple. You just had a disc, you plugged it in, you played the game. Now you plug it in and it's like an hour wait for it to download everything it
Right.
needs before you can even play the game. And you've got to delete old games off your system to make room for
And
the
they'll
new
come up with
game.
updates all the time. You got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
update the game constantly and all that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, don't ever plan on if you're going to do a download or even an install, like playing the same night or the same day,
Right.
just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
do it in advance,
Yeah,
get up
do it
and
the day
running when you
before you
can.
plan to play it.
And then plan for if it's a server based game, plan for those to go down at some point
Right.
until they get a patch or something. And it's
Exactly.
it's supposed to be fun. But
Yeah.
a lot of people like make a living off of it though, and that's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
absolutely. It's become an industry.
yeah. Um, so yeah, so I guess we're like the people in the poll,
Hmm.
optimistic,
Yeah.
the it's funny, sometimes I think like the Solo movie. What if they had made that a video game
Right. Instead of a
instead of a
film.
movie? Like,
Hmm.
because we were all like, when they said we're going to do a Han Solo prequel, we were like, huh?
Yeah.
We were
Huh?
really kind of like,
Really?
it's sort of exciting, but it's also kind of like, yeah, I don't know if that's such a good
Right.
idea. And but if they had done a Han Solo prequel video game series, I don't know.
Right.
That takes
That
the
could have been,
pressure. That takes the
yeah.
pressure off of it being a movie, and you could really hit a home run with that. And you could play as Han Solo and young
Yeah.
Lando Calrissian, and
Hmm.
and Chewbacca, and any of the other characters they want to
Yeah.
come up with. And I'm still in that mode where you give me a game where I get to play as Luke Skywalker, or I get to play as Han Solo
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Princess Leia or whatever.
I'm all about it.
Go
Yeah.
buy it. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
gonna freaking buy it. So.
Exactly. So
And
anyway, that's
it's like
our
if you have a colonial marine shooting in an alien,
oh yeah,
I'm going to buy
I'm
it and
on
try it at
board. I'm
least.
fully
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I may only play it a couple of times, but got
Right.
my money to at least see what it's like.
Exactly. So anyway, that's our thoughts on the new upcoming Star Wars Outlaws video game coming next year. And anyway, again, just leave us your thoughts in the comments if what you think what you're thinking about coming up on the new game. All right, take care, guys. Thanks for watching.